So, right off the bat, I have to tell you the one problem I had with this movie.
Okay, only one. I love it.
It was the only problem that, like, severely impacted my opinion of the movie. I think all of my other problems with it are, like, it's 1936, you know? You know how sometimes your problem is that it's 1936?
There were a lot of people whose problems was that it was 1936, for sure.
Right. So this is entirely a production issue because, like, it's the only part of the movie that felt cheap to me.
Okay.
So I've been getting into bookbinding for the past couple of years or so. I actually have a project that I can see over in the distance. Bookbinding is a beautiful art. I love buying and getting, like, kind of like special bound print editions of books from, like, thrift stores and stuff. It's one of my favorite things to do. The book at the beginning of this movie is one of the most fake-ass things I've ever seen in my life. It is a plastic box.
I had a moment when I looked at that book and I was like, wait, this isn't 3D animated.
Right. It looks so bad that your brain is like, well, surely there's something wrong with it. It doesn't even hinge properly. Like the hinge of the book is like an inch away from the spine, which is, like, insane.
Andy, I love that you have this problem, because I would never in a million years have clocked how bad that book looks and been like, this is an issue. I suspect that a lot of the other problems with this movie we will agree on, and this one, it just flew right over my head.
It genuinely, it was all I could think about for like a good 10 minutes, and then and then I recovered from it. And then the ending of the movie happened, and so it's like it was like the last thing on my mind is how fucking awful this, like, prop that they made was.
Welcome to Direct to Video VHS, a podcast where we pair movies like fine wine. So we do a lot of Disney movies on this podcast, Andy.
Yeah. Like, the whole concept, right, of the direct-to-video sequel was invented by Disney and killed by Disney.
Definitely especially for our generation, there was it was the impetus of this podcast was like, hey, do you also remember the weird direct-to-video sequels of beloved Disney films?
Do you remember The Lion King 1.5?
Yeah, I do. I have a copy of it literally right next to me. It's an amazing film.
It's great.
Do you remember Pocahontas 2?
I do, to my chagrin.
Or maybe the worst one, Little Mermaid 2.
Yeah, Little Mermaid 2 is really bad.
It's such a shockingly bad film. Anyway, but we've never gone back. They've never dared to make a direct-to-video sequel of this movie. So we've never gone back and done Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
It's kind of untouchable for both, because how do you make a sequel to this movie? And also, like, it's like the first animated film ever made, right? It's like, I think it's like, we don't have this in the United States, but in, like, Japan and China and stuff, they have these, like, exhibits of, like, national treasures. Where they'll be like,
we have National Treasure with Nick Cage.
You're right, we do. You're right. I got the Declaration of Independence. I think this movie might be more important than the Declaration of Independence to American culture.
That's for American culture specifically. I think there's an argument to be made.
We haven't sullied this one.
Haven't we?
Haven't we? Well, we're about to, I guess.
We talked very briefly about how this movie managed to be a lot less racist than other Disney movies. This movie does still manage a quick racism. Just like blink and you'll miss it racism.
Oh, really?
Oh, and he blinked.
Yeah, I to be fair, I was making coffee while this movie got started, so...
It wasn't when it was, during the dance scene where everybody's partying.
Yeah.
There's just a bit where they put a symbol on Dopey's head and he makes a face and like totters off screen, and it was exactly like the scene in Aristocats, where fucking Tigger starts being racist. Except he doesn't say anything, which makes it a lot less racist, but I was still like, wow, you sure sullied the film just all of a sudden there.
Huh. Oh man. Yeah, I didn't catch that at all.
It's amazing. It's like shocking that they managed to do it. But I have an issue with Snow White. I do. Yeah. I have a.
Is it that it's not really a movie?
That's part of it. Like that Snow doesn't get any characterization at all. That like her internal. She doesn't have a brain. It seems like she doesn't have anything going on upstairs. She just kind of moves through the movie and it happens to her.
Yeah.
But my issue is more that I think this movie might have been entirely, fully forgotten by time. Just the most generic, boring-ass bullshit movie, except that about half of the movie is the most metal shit you will ever see. Okay? We have Snow White, the blandest character in the world. We have the dwarves, who I thought I would be more entertained by and less squicked out by, and I sure wasn't.
They're weird. We'll get to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And their relationship with Snow White is like fucking wild. It's like off the rails.
Yeah.
But then we have the Queen, and she's amazing.
A truly underrated performance.
I remember being scared of the Queen as a kid. Like, Like one of the things I realized as an adult was like, if I played through the Snow White area in like Kingdom Hearts, part of me would be scared because I'm like, I know that this is scary. But as an adult, I'm watching it and I'm like, yeah, bitch, go off. She's the best. She's crazy. And I was like, this is why Cinderella isn't as good as Snow White, is because her villain is not nearly this cool. It's like astounding. I want to talk about this. The best scene, I think, is right after she transforms. She's gonna go out and give Snow White an apple. She walks through the fucking dungeons, and there's this skeleton of a man who has died while reaching for water and has just been left there to rot into a skeleton. And she just goes, "Why don't you have a drink?" and kicks the water over and just starts cackling. And I was like, how? I thought this was a movie for children. This is the best scene ever.
It's quite good.
But you go from that to, like, again, the blandest shit. Just like...
I do think that there's a lot going on here in terms of, like, why this movie has stuck around. I do think I have the same feeling about this movie as I do about The Wizard of Oz, which is I think it matters only because it was the first, right? Like, had someone else done the first feature-length animated film, I think that movie would have been, or if Walt Disney went with a different idea, right?
Right. The movie itself does not matter as much as the fact that the movie happened.
Yeah, I do think, however, that the movie does also have the added benefit of being genuinely beautiful to look at. Like, it's pretty to look at. It's like a good looking movie. There's animation in this movie that I'm astounded that they did this in 1936. Like, there are animated films today that like 2D animated films today that are like struggling to kind of hit this level of quality. And you also have to remember that like there are a lot of human characters in this movie and they look rotoscoped. Like, they look like they're rotoscoped. Rotoscoping does not get invented for another 30 years. There are a lot of things in this movie that I'm like, from like a technical perspective are impressive.
There were moments where I was like, somebody had to draw that part frame by frame.
When the Queen transforms into the peddler and the camera like spins around the room.
Right.
I lost my mind.
I had the same thought. I was like, this isn't Beauty and the Beast. They didn't make a 3D space to do this in.
They just did it.
They just did it.
It reminds me of I forget the guy who said this in an interview. Who's the guy who directed Roger Rabbit?
I can pull him up real quick.
Oh God, it's gonna kill me.
I typed in Roger Rabbit. So
not Zemeckis. Who is the animation director? Google.
If you Google Roger Rabbit, it'll put up Roger Rabbit wife.
Really? I need her. Give her to me, please.
Yeah, for some reason on MTV it only lists Zemeckis.
Yeah, because he's like the director, but I'm looking for the director of animation. Which, why isn't that listed? It was like William something. Richard Williams. Richard Williams, who known for not finishing the movie The Thief and the Cobbler. Famously not finishing The Thief and the Cobbler, but he wrote a book on the animation survival kit, I think. The animated survival kit, which is a fantastic read if you want to pick it up and you want to know like how animation works. But he has a quote in that book that I really, really love, which is animators are lazy, and it's always difficult to get them to just sit down and do the work because they always want to use a cheap trick to get out of it. And I think like CGI and like a bunch of other tech, rotoscoping, these are all tools that are like really, really useful, but they basically are ways that an animator can decide not to animate.
Sorry.
Right?
I want to push back on the man who wanted to do The Thief and the Cobbler so perfect that it cost way too much money and he couldn't do it. I want to push back on this guy being like, but animators are lazy. Because, like, I'm sorry, dude. Sometimes you have to be a little bit lazy in order to get a movie made.
Listen, I agree. But I do think he has a bit of a point, which is that, like, a lot of there's like I said, I think a lot of these tools that exist are good. They're useful tools, but they can be ways in which an animator gets out of like doing animation work, which is fine for some things. Like, I don't think the ballroom in Beauty and the Beast, right, needed to be
like hand animated, like 2D animated.
Right.
I mean, it looks beautiful. It
looks good.
Like, Disney uses that as a shot for like, look how good we are at animation.
Right. But then like, right, on the other side of that, on the other hand of that, some of the CGI in Aladdin, for example.
I don't know how. I knew you were gonna bring up Aladdin. The when he's flying through the lava when everything's collapsing. I remember as a child standing up, pointing at the TV and said, "That's 3D animated."
That's fake.
That's computer generated.
So I think part of the reason why a lot of these, especially really, really early Disney animated films, hold up so well is for the same reason that a lot of like early special effects holds up, which is that like they couldn't get around having to do the work. Yeah. It's not even cheating, right? Because ideally, if you cheat, you win. I think a big problem with a lot of the cheating that's done nowadays is it's you cheat and you still lose, right?
I mean, you made a comparison between this and Wizard of Oz, which, one, that's another movie that I feel like works because it has a crazy good villain in it.
So good.
But two, I remember we watched Wizard of Oz for this podcast, and they did the tornado scene, and it was just like a house on a string spinning, and I was like, that looks good.
It looks good.
And it looks good because it's very simple. They knew how to do it, and they didn't have to try to make a house in 3D and have it spinning and crashing down.
And then you're like watching it and you're like, why is it so poorly lit?
Yeah, why is this happening?
I was recently, a coworker of mine showed me a scene from what I can only imagine as a truly awful movie. I hope they never find this podcast, and more specifically this episode, because I didn't have it in my heart to tell them that I thought that this movie looked dog shit.
Great.
Because it was a movie that they were like, it was like a childhood movie of theirs. But
it was Alpha and Omega.
It was not. It was shot in Australia. It was like an Australian comedy from the 70s.
Okay.
But it was like shot out in the bush, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they have these like wide landscape shots, in this dog shit movie, and I'm like, this looks good. There's like a you know, that the thing that you know, I can't explain it, but you have to say it in French. Like, there's something about it about
are we thinking of the word je ne sais quoi?
Yeah, there's like a je ne sais quoi about a lot of these old movies where they just have to kind of do the work because all of the tools that we have at our disposal today just didn't exist. I think a lot about who's the guy who directed Batman?
Andy, there's like 50 guys who have directed Batman.
The newest one.
Do you want Tim Burton?
Oh, fuck, not the newest one. Shit. the Christian Bale ones.
Okay, you must be talking about Nolan, right?
Nolan. I think a lot about Christopher Nolan and how he was like, in The Dark Knight, he was like, I want to flip a truck. Just let me flip a truck.
Just let me flip it. Come on, guys.
Please, just let me flip a truck. And they did it, and it looks great.
Because he just flipped a truck.
Yeah, he just flipped a truck, and you watch that, and you're like, that's amazing. And then, for his, like, stupid time travel movie that he made, he was like, I want to crash a plane. And you didn't have to do that. Because it turns out, a plane crash is one of those things that my brain can't fathom. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, you could have done it in CGI and my brain wouldn't have cared, right? That's like the,
because
that's,
I don't
I think,
watch a plane crash.
Right. I mean, I guess I've seen videos of plane crashing, but very few people have seen a plane crash in real life, right? As opposed to like, I've seen a semi-truck go off the road. Right. I've seen an RV catch fire. These are things that are like available within my imaginative mode. Because we live in an awful society where everybody drives cars everywhere.
It's going great.
And so, I know we're like almost 30 minutes in, and I do want to talk a little bit about the making of this movie. This is the problem with watching, I think, Disney originals, is there's so much to talk about.
But yeah, let's talk a little bit about the making of this movie so we can maybe talk about literally anything other than the first frame of the film.
So, it's 1933. It might even be earlier than that. Walt Disney goes to his producer, whose name escapes me, and he says, I want to, Silly Symphonies has taken off, right? Like, the Walt Disney animation has exploded. The Mickey Mouse cartoons are doing really well. The Mickey Mouse comic strip is like making a ton of money. And so Walt Disney goes to his producer and he says, hey, I want us to make a feature-length cartoon, a 90-minute long cartoon. And his producer says, Walt, you're crazy. No one's going to sit through 90 minutes of animation. They're going to walk out. You got to keep them 3 minutes or less. Otherwise, no one's going to care.
I love this idea of like a cigar smoking producer. Like, nobody wants 90 minutes of animation, Walt.
I gotta tell you, if anyone's smoking a cigar in this situation, it's Walt.
Yeah, and Walt's smoking his cigar like they'll watch what I want them to watch.
So he goes to his brother, Roy, who's like basically the CFO of Walt Disney Animation for as long as Walt's alive. I think the adage is like, whatever Walt wanted to do, it was Roy's job to get the money. He goes to Roy and he tells him this idea, and Roy's like, Walt, you're crazy. Nobody's going to want to pay for you to make a 90-minute long animated feature. And he said, then we'll pay for it ourselves. And Roy said, Walt, we can't do that. It would be so much money.
According to this, 1.5 million, which is...
in 1936 money.
I mean, yeah, it's not nothing, like, but that's like...
the Great Depression just happened, Tony.
Look, I'm not saying you're right. Absolutely. Yes. But movies cost so much fucking money nowadays.
It's true. So he goes home to his wife and he says, you know, honey, I want to make this fully feature-length 90-minute film, and nobody thinks I can do it. And his wife looks at him and says, Walt, you're crazy. Nobody's going to want to watch 90 minutes of animation. Like, nobody wanted to do it.
I love the idea of, like, an underdog story where it's like, nobody thought I could do it. But when they say nobody thought I can do it, they mean their family and friends were like, you have to stop.
Yeah, this is a crazy idea. So, I mean, by 1933, he's, like, committed to the idea. I think by 1934, it's gonna be Snow White. It has to be Snow White. He's had writers working on this, like, privately, like in secret, for like a year. And at one point he gets a couple of his like most trusted animators to come in and do storyboard sketches. And they basically plan out, I think they accidentally invent the idea of the storyboard actually here, because they basically plan out like the entire film from start to finish. He like manages to convince, I think, his producer and his brother. The producer, I think, is the producer for RKO Pictures.
Okay.
To go in on it, even though they don't really think this idea has any legs. They think that he's just going to give up, right?
Mm-hmm.
He calls in like an all hands meeting where every animator, basically anybody who wasn't a woman working at the studio, goes into a room, and he's like, I'm going to pitch to you guys the future of our company. And then he proceeds to roll out this massive board with all of these pictures on it. And then for the next 2.5 hours, he acts out the entire film from start to finish.
Great.
Now, this is one of those like making the legend stories.
Right.
After this meeting, it becomes company policy to record the audio of every meeting at Disney, because apparently this meeting was like just so great. But at the beginning of the meeting, everyone was like, this is crazy. We can't do this. And by the end of the meeting, people were like cheering. They were hooting and hollering up a storm. They're cracking beers. They're asking him questions. What about this? What about this? How will we do this? And so like that to me is like when Walt Disney goes from being like an animation studio, right? Like a cartoon studio, to like a full-fledged animation studio. Is like we've invented every part of like how you make an animated film at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how true this is. I don't know how true this story is. I think it's a great story. Also, I love the idea of Walt Disney getting up there and trying to sing all of these songs.
And here's the thing, is a lot of the songs aren't good, and it is funny, the idea of him being, like, trying to sing their stupid hand-washing song.
You know, I think this movie could be sued for false advertising.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought, you know how many songs I thought were in this movie, Tony?
Like 2?
One song!
Alright.
Just one song. All right. That song sucks.
Oh, the Princess song?
The Princess song is so bad.
It's a fucking slog, my man.
And then he reprises it at the end.
He comes back and he's like, don't worry, one more again.
It's all right. I think we can talk about the movie now.
So here's the thing. We read from the book.
We go from the book.
We have to read it because apparently nobody thought there should be a narrator for Snow White. I'm astounded. It's 1937. We have the idea of reading to children, surely. Anyway, we read that Snow White, that her parents are dead, and she's got an evil stepmother who's the queen, and that the queen makes her work as a scullery maid. Now every day the queen goes to her magic mirror and is like, mirror, who's the fairest of them all? Very briefly. That feels like kind of a racist question, but let's move on. So,
I mean, the movie, the book, sorry, I should say, the book at the beginning of the movie does, like, won't shut up about, like, how white Snow White's skin is.
For sure. The mirror starts talking about it. The mirror's like, red lips, skin white as snow, that ebony hair, perfect German beauty.
Yeah. It's 1936 and we're going through it.
Yeah.
And this movie is not escaped.
It will be years before Donald Duck is singing the Fuhrer's face. So, and the mirror's always like, it's you. You're the fairest of them all. That fit where we can't see anything except your face is absolutely working.
It's, on the one hand, it's a crazy outfit. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, it's like iconic.
My opinion is that this is what she wears because she likes to freak people out. She likes being beautiful for herself. She isn't beautiful so other people will fawn over her. She is beautiful because she wants to know she's beautiful, but her getup, her whole thing is to make people terrified of her, which I'm actually for.
Yeah. Feminist icon, evil queen.
Feminist icon, the evil queen. Nothing more feminist than wanting to kill a girl for maybe being hotter than you. So one day, and Jamie was incredulous about this concept, but I was like, I think it tracks. One day, the mirror's like, actually, I think Snow White's hotter than you now.
She is 16 now, I think.
No, I want to push back on this. I listened. It does not say an age. I think in the original, she's 14, which is not cool. But in this, it doesn't say an age, so I can assume she's 18. Maybe she has just reached adulthood, and therefore the mirror's like, that means she's eligible for fairest of them all, and she has blossomed into a young woman. She's got bad news.
Old enough to vote equals old enough to be voted for.
This is a real two-party system. You can either choose Snow White or the evil queen.
I was going to say, I don't know what it would be like to have this, like, thing in your house, right? This, like, thing that looks alive, and all it does every day is tell you how great you are.
Is the queen beholden to the mirror, or is the mirror beholden to the queen? An excellent question. Is she evil because every day she wakes up, looks at the mirror, and says, "Hey, am I still hot?"
I think, here's the thing is I think in 1936, we didn't know the answer to this question. In 2026, happy 90th anniversary, Snow White, we do know the answer, which is that I think that she's just going through ChatGPT psychosis. Like,
interesting.
She's just like going to her computer and being like, am I hot today? And her computer's like, of course you are. You're so hot. But then they rolled out an update and the computer's like, well, actually, I checked the internet and this one lady's pretty hot. And it drove her crazy.
Okay, I was going to compare it to Saruman at the Palantir, but I guess this works too.
Nerd.
Oh yeah, ChatGPT is a less nerdy thing.
I gotta say, it's been a good chunk of change since I've seen those movies.
I watched them recently. They fucking hold up. They're good movies.
I remember really liking the first one. God, I haven't seen them since I was in middle school.
That's too long. It's weird that you didn't see them in college. Yeah. So
I gotta say, it was an active effort for me not to go to these 24-hour Lord of the Rings watch parties that were being hosted like every week.
So I want to jump straight for like, and then the queen decides to murder Snow White, but that's actually not what happens next. Instead, Snow White is singing into a well that she says is a wishing well, and her song is
we gotta talk about Snow White's voice.
Okay, yeah,
because
Jamie called her an influencer voice, but I said I think influencers are just doing a Snow White voice.
I gotta say, it's I don't think a human being could do this anymore.
It is rough as hell. She sounds like, God, what do you call them? She sounds like a child eunuch. like that you would hear in like medieval singing. Like her voice is so high.
It feels all like when somebody's like, "Oh, you have a voice like a flute," you know. It's like literally her. She's got a reediness to it.
It's strange.
By the end of the movie, I had kind of gotten used to it, but like for the first couple of minutes, I don't think human beings talk like this anymore. Like I don't think like I've heard like influencer voice. I even know like the like Mormon wife like quiet talk that they do. I don't know if you've heard about this.
I try to stay away from Mormon wives in my day-to-day.
You know, me too, man. But like, they're all over the internet. It's like nothing comes close to this. It's so odd. I'm curious if this is going to make it into the new movie.
They can't. It might be the most dated part of the movie. I don't know if people ever talk like this. I don't know if it was this idea of like, oh, she's a princess, she should sound ethereal and otherworldly. And they got somebody who could sound the fucking craziest a human could sound. But she's singing into this well, and a prince hears her, and he starts singing to her, and she runs away in her very quiet clogs. I noticed she was wearing clogs.
They're leather padded. I also noticed it, and I was like, that's mad uncomfortable.
And she's wearing clogs, but also when she runs off, it's dead silent. And I was like, And this is supposed to be her falling in love, and I don't buy it. But then we pan up to the evil queen, who doesn't look angry so much as she looks fucking done with this shit. And I was like, same, bestie!
Real quick. Adriana Castellati was the voice of Snow White. So shout out to her for sounding like no other human being in the world has ever sounded.
Gosh, she looks like Snow White.
Yeah, well, she was the model for it.
Of course, that makes sense.
I think she was 16 when she was doing the role.
Sorry,
I think that's where I got the age from.
I need to pause for a quick second. Over on Castellati's Wikipedia page, it says that she was named a Disney legend in 1994, making her
the fuck?
first female voiceover artist to achieve this. Now, Disney legends, I don't know what their ruling is, but they gotta get with the fucking times. It took them like 60 years to make Snow White a Disney legend, and she was the first ever?
Well, hold on. I when was Disney Legends established?
This is
okay.
This is a good question.
1987. Guess what? If that should have said 1994 to make a fuck all ass ruling like that.
Yeah,
that's insane.
It's like super fucking weird. It's like out of it. It's like crazy. Let's take a step back from this.
In any other in a lesser film, the queen would have been like, I'm trying to bag this prince. But in this film, she doesn't seem to give a shit about the prince at all. She's like laser focused.
She doesn't like that Snow White is seen as beautiful because she wants to be the only one who's beautiful. Again, not exactly a feminist character, but she's not just like trying to bag a prince. I fear that in the new movie she's trying to bag the prince. I guess we'll see.
She goes to what might be the wildest looking character in this movie.
You know, something I noticed about these characters is sometimes some characters wouldn't have their faces, I would say, properly shaded. Like if this was a modern film, the shading would be done a little bit differently and they would just pop a little more from the background. This guy does not have that problem.
This guy's face is detailed.
You
can see every nook and cranny. And he's got this I can only call it the Farquad, right? Like bowl cut, but with like a bob in the back haircut. He's just a wild looking guy. And again, this guy walks into this movie and walks out of it about as abruptly.
He doesn't even get killed or anything. I was sure there was going to be a scene with him. He comes in. The queen's like, you have to kill Snow White. And he's like, the little princess. And she's like, do it. He's like, all right. And then he goes to kill her. He's like, oh, I can't kill you. You have to run. And then he's gone.
Not just kill her. You have to kill her and bring me back her heart in this box.
Cut out her heart, put it in a box. For sure.
Savage. Like, absolutely demented behavior.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. Uh-huh. I want to talk real quick about, so the plan is that the huntsman is going to bring Snow White out picking wildflowers.
Right.
I want to talk about this scene for one important reason. Why do you think does she wear princess clothes? I have a theory, and I don't know if it's a good one.
Like, in this scene, because she was wearing like a shitty ass dress before.
Because she's I don't know if we mentioned it, she's made to be a scullery maid, and she was wearing scullery maid clothes, her shitty ass dress, her giant clogs, and now she's wearing princess clothes. And I can only assume that in a sort of keeping up appearances thing, the queen cannot have the princess dress as a scullery maid when she goes out. But the thing is that doesn't quite work because she is planning to murder her. I don't know.
Maybe. There are only 3 human beings.
Yeah.
Right? A total of 10 characters in this film. No
Whether
other
or
people
not the
exist.
dwarves are human beings will come up.
We're not they're sentient. Obviously, they're people.
That's not my question. My question is whether they are dwarves like, I'm sorry, I gotta say it again, Tolkien dwarfs. Or whether they're dwarves like just short humans. I don't know. They won't tell me.
it really is left up to nothing. Yeah, the huntsman can't do it. He tells her to run into the forest. I, on the one hand, don't like this scene, but on the other hand, I do really like this scene, if that makes sense.
When
Like,
she's running through the forest and everything's spooky, that scene?
Yeah, like from like a character perspective, it's just kind of like pathetic for her.
Okay, yeah, I have exactly the same opinion. Where it's like, this scene was one of the scenes that really stuck with me as a kid because it's genuinely very scary to watch when you're a kid. But again, as an adult, I was like, hey, Snow White, would you quit pussing out for 2 fucking seconds? Everything you're afraid of is a tree. Like, literally everything she's afraid of is a tree. She's scared of a tree making faces at her. She's scared of logs floating in the water. It's all trees. She lives in the most idyllic forest in the world. All the animals immediately love her. But she's like screaming and kicking and yelling until she basically passes out. And all the animals are just staring at her like, what the fuck was that about?
Now, to be fair, she was almost murdered.
Yes.
And then told she was going to be murdered. But I agree with you. It doesn't really work. Again, it feels very 1936.
The thing that really gets me is that then she immediately starts singing a song with the animals because she's like, what do you do when you're afraid? And starts singing a song. She's like, oh, now everything will be fine. That's it. Like I need you to have a middle. I need you to be somewhere between everything will be fine and I'm going to die immediately. Like
her voice, Snow White is a person of extremes.
Yeah.
Her being scared is like the most emotion I think she'll ever show for the rest of the film.
She doesn't show much emotion when she's fallen in love or dying, or actually she does have a good scream when she dies.
It's really good. That I will say, her death scene is fantastic. It's very good.
I love it. It was that scene where I was like, how come the evil queen doesn't get to interact with Snow White more? It turns out this is what I wanted.
So the animals lead her to a house, and like Sherlock, Snow White starts doing a bit of deduction.
This dumbass. Okay, so this is a little house. It's the most intricately made house ever.
I love this house. I wish I had wooden beams in my house with my face carved on it.
There are wood carvings on everything. It is beautiful. I don't know if it's because these dwarves do woodworking on the side, or if it's because they're fucking magic dwarves and will always add fancy stuff to shit. I don't know which it is. And she goes, oh, it's so dirty, a bunch of children must live here. Now, Snow, my dear, why would a bunch of orphan children live in the woods in this fancy-ass house? And
because they're orphans.
I realize she doesn't have a lot of interactions with men, but this could not more clearly be a bachelor pad. This is like, why are all the dishes not clean? Because it's a bunch of dudes living here.
Yeah, it is very college dorm.
Yeah.
It's on the one hand, see, this is a bit where my how do I say this? My brain is like fritzing out today. Like, what do you call it? My suspension of disbelief kind of goes away a little bit because I know people who like do intricate woodworking, right? And the thing is that they can be messy people, but anything that they have made themselves, right? That shit will never look old.
So this is the funny thing. It wasn't quite that got me. It's two other things. One, the mine, which we will see in the next scene, is beautiful. It is very neat. Everything in its place. So they take better care of this mine that I guess they all co-own than the building they live in.
Well, I don't think they're doing this for profit. It feels like.
Hey, I think Andy, that's another question. Why are they digging? It feels like, again, are they digging? Are they getting a bunch of money so they can like send it home? Are they eventually going to make a profit and like they're breaking even? I don't know. Or, and this is the question, are they just dwarves and dwarves dig? They dig greedily and too deep, Andy.
Well, I do think that they are just magical dwarves. It seems like, based on the evidence on display here, because it really does seem like they are just mining for the love of the game. Like they lock up
their stuff in a vault and then put the key next to the vault. I love that.
Right, like they're not. There's no fear. I also, and if this is what Moria was like when they started, right, which is just gems literally falling out of the walls.
Yeah.
Why even dig, right? Like just leave it there. But they're compelled.
The reason is because of one of the rings. Sorry that I hit it. That was too nerdy.
There, we found it. The line.
That's the line. It's knowing that one of the rings, instead of dominating the dwarves, did just make them dig too greedily and too deep. It's knowing that. But I was gonna say the other reason is the existence of Sneezy. There's so much dust in this house, and there's no fucking way they didn't try to clean it up because of this man. Whose reaction to dust is so powerful that, like, how did they usually get to sleep before Snow White cleaned their fucking house? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Surely Sneezy would be sneezing every day. He has, like, hurricane winds coming out of his face. Like,
yeah, the lung capacity on this man is huge.
This is something that, if this were a modern movie, that would have come up at some point as plot relevant.
As a joke.
Instead of just continually just like, oh, this is a good time to make a joke where Sneezy sneezes.
Now, what Snow White does next,
that shit insane.
Is something. It's something I've done. So
wait. Sorry. What? Sorry. No, I'm sorry. Continue. Yes. Sorry.
I think
I jumped ahead a little bit.
When I was in college, I moved into a house that was lived in by the nastiest dudes I think I have ever encountered in my life. And I am a very picky, neat person. Mm-hmm. I just am. I wasn't when I was a teen, but something about going to college, just, I just became the most, like, anal retentive about, like, things being clean. And so when I moved into this house, there were like 100 pizza boxes piled up in the living room. That there was like a mountain of soda cans in the dining room, the dishes, the kitchen, it was so nasty. And so the weekend after I moved in, I just cleaned the whole house.
Okay. This is the thing that you said you've done before. That reasonable.
Oh, yeah. What did you think I had done before?
Well, let's talk about it. So Snow White, she's like, what I love. It's actually fucking bullshit. I love it because it's crazy. She's like, I'm gonna clean the house because maybe that'll like, one, the house needs to be clean, and two, maybe that'll win them over. They'll let me stay. And then immediately she gives every animal a harder job than her job.
She's delegating. She's got a managerial mindset.
I'll sweep. You, the chipmunks, wash the dishes. You, the deers and beavers, wash the clothes. Like, what?
If there was one thing I love about this movie...
And, sorry, she then micromanages them. She will interrupt what they're doing when they're cleaning wrong and tell them how to do it correctly. And I was like, well, maybe you should be cleaning.
She's not a lead by example kind of person. She's got and if there's anything I've learned about Walt Disney this is a Walt Disney maneuver. Yeah. So if there's one thing I love about this movie, because it was a fear that I had until the movie ended, is that none of the animals talk.
Yes,
they're just animals. They're not even doing the little like Cinderella kind of style talking.
Like Roosevelt. Cinderella.
Yeah. Cinderella. They're just animals. They make animal noises. It was rather odd. She cleans the whole house. She washes their clothes.
Yeah.
That part's a bit far, I think.
Yeah. Absolutely crazy. Who knows what kind of crusty ass shit is on these clothes? And then the next thing she does is a thing that I identified as crazy and that I was worried that you had done.
Yeah.
Which is, after going to all this trouble to make a good first impression with the people who live here, she walks upstairs, opens the door, and goes to sleep on full ass 4 of their beds.
Yep.
Not like...
I have not done this.
Just
not for lack of trying.
Flops down, immediately passes out like you're in like Pokemon Sun and Moon. I don't know if you remember this about these, where for some reason they were the only games where you could walk into people's beds and each bed would have an individual smell that your player would tell you what it smelled like.
I didn't know this. That's crazy. I think the part that really gets me is when the animals start tucking themselves in, like the deer and the chipmunks and shit. It's like, we just cleaned this place. No offense, but you're animals.
I mean,
you
some
sleep
offense.
outside.
So she passes out. Again, I feel like she was trying to make a good first impression and then she forgot that that's what she was doing.
She fucking leaves something on the stove. I guess it's not a stove, but she leaves something cooking in the fireplace.
Yeah. Well, but that's kind of how you did it, right? Like, she's essentially slow cooking some stew. So the dwarves come home. They sing their hi-ho song. This is the song in the movie that Andy remembers, because this is the good song in the movie, I think.
It's off to work we go, ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
They come home, they see that the lights are on.
Now, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
They're not going to work, though.
They said it's home. Okay, so I had this conversation with Shamie. The line that they sing in this part of the song is, it's home from work we go. But it kind of gets lost in the meter. Okay. But it is a different line.
Okay. Oh, now that's a real, just a misunderstanding I've had for my entire life.
Yeah, but the thing is, later they do sing It's Off to Work We Go, and I feel like that's what people remember, and so they kind of put it in the other part. Yeah. Especially because I do feel like it again does kind of get lost in the rhythm. So they realize somebody's in their house. They sneak in. They convince themselves that it's a monster because the birds are pranking them hard. I think when this happens, we're like 30 minutes into the movie. Because halfway through this, I did check the runtime because this scene drags on for so long. Yep.
It's truly like a chore. Like, this movie could have been 60 minutes.
If it was 60 minutes, it probably wouldn't be the first full-length animated movie, though, would it? I mean,
it would have still been like 8 times longer than the longest animated like short at the time.
But but Jamie looked it up, and there was a German movie that was 60 minutes. Okay, and it wasn't a talkie, and it was like a shadow animated or something like that, and so it was different. Yeah. But I feel like then it would be, if you make an arbitrary line of like, oh, it needs to be longer than 60 minutes or something, then I feel like Snow White gets it. But if you don't have that arbitrary line, if you make Snow White too short, then it's not the big blockbuster. That's not important. Here's what's important. It takes them for fucking ever to get up those goddamn stairs. And there's a bunch of antics. The dwarves are always doing antics, which I get, but I was also like immediately over it. So there's a bunch of antics. Yeah.
It's and I guess we have to talk about it now. It's part of the reason why the dwarves are so weird. Because on the one hand, they're grown-ass men, right? But on the other hand, they act like children. They behave and maneuver in such a way as to imply that they are children.
I think, actually, the reason the dwarves are so weird in this movie is not the dwarves' fault. It's Snow White's fault. Because they meet Snow White and she immediately infantilizes them. Immediately. She starts treating them as children. And this is the only read I can get on it, are so infatuated with her that they let her. Except for Grumpy, who gets all tsundere about it, and is like...
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said tsundere?
No, you said tsundere, which I don't know what that is. Are you trying to say tsundere?
Do you not pronounce the T? I see it written.
No.
Then, sorry, if it's a Japanese word that we're writing in English, why do we put letters that we don't need in it?
It's to guide the. I hate this. I hate that I know this. This is like a Latinization thing. It's to guide the movement of the mouth prior to the sound you make with the S.
I think Andy just got more nerdy than my dwarf digging too deep thing.
But this is like actionable knowledge.
Oh, sorry.
This is about real life.
Is the way that you say a word made for Japanese visual novels actionable knowledge?
It could save your life, Tony.
Anyway, yeah, he gets all like, nah, I don't like you at all, Snow White, but secretly he does. Which means that for most of the scenes he's in, Grumpy is the one that acts even a little bit like a regular ass person.
Well, but the problem is that he's acting like a regular ass dude from 1936 because he's like, women, they're out to get you.
I mean,
they're gonna trick you with their feminine wiles.
But Andy, that's actually great. Because
he has a character.
Whether these are magical dwarves or whether these are 7 men who just haven't seen women in like 12 fucking years, it's funny that he's like, women are gonna get you with their feminine wiles, and the other ones are like, what is a feminine wile? And he's like, I don't know.
But we're not gonna find out.
Like, that's so good. It's like, that's so funny. He's the only dwarf. Okay, so here's the other wild thing. Is like, I hate all the dwarves except for Grumpy and maybe Dopey. And the thing about Dopey is that I think he might be a child.
Well, Dopey is the only one that doesn't have a beard, right?
He doesn't have a beard, and he's very, he sort of radiates an innocence that the others don't.
Right. Well, he's also a little pervert.
Right. Like children.
I don't know about that. But yeah, there's a lot of things that are like there. Dopey has a lot of signifiers that depending on how you read them, you can either read them as like Dopey is a child or Dopey is like an educationally challenged adult. Because at one point,
I just don't love that reading, you know?
I know, but at one point they add, like, Snow White I forget which dwarf says it, but he's like, he doesn't talk, and Snow White asks, he can't, and then he says, he's never tried.
That was Doc. Doc is always, oh no, maybe that was Happy.
That was Happy, yeah.
Doc is always the one who's talking, and it's weird. He seems to be in charge, but he's also like a full-on dumbass.
He's also got a stutter, and I'm trying to figure out how Doc plays into that.
I thought, so that this is the thing that irritated me, is that his name is fucking Doc. So he has a stutter, and I remember the stutter as like this is a thing that's like a 1930s thing that doesn't age well. But I watched it and I was like, he doesn't have a stutter as much as he has a problem with mixing up words and then like tripping over his tongue trying to fix it. Like the stutter comes in when he's like, shit, I said the wrong thing. So it's like it's definitely like a behavioral stutter, you know? Like
Yeah. And more of a stammer.
Right. More of a stammer.
We're gonna be medical. We're gonna use the medical terminology.
The way that Snow White interacts with the dwarves fucking sucks. Because she's like, everybody make sure to wash your hands before we eat. And then later, after they have a big party, she's like, oh, it's bedtime. You all need to go to bed.
The way she says, oh, it's 7 little men. My skin crawled. I was like, oh, this isn't good. When she first sees them.
They could have played this, and here's the thing, is like, if she had an internal character, the fact that she basically becomes 7 guys' mom could be an interesting character thing. But she doesn't have an internal character. So all I'm left thinking is, like, I wish that these old, tiny men were not clearly in love with her. And I wish that she didn't treat them like children. I wish that, like, because they want to protect her from the evil queen as soon as they find out that she's the princess.
Right.
I wish that they were more fatherly, you know? I wish that it was a more normal interaction, and that, yeah, maybe she does kind of take care of them, because they're a bunch of old men who don't take care of themselves very well. That's normal.
Yeah, it's definitely very odd. I don't know how I would feel if, you know, in The Hobbit, when the dwarves,
I don't know why
Bilbo
we're bringing up Tolkien all of a sudden.
I just feel like the barrier has been broken.
Continue.
It would be crazy if in The Hobbit, right, when Gandalf showed up, instead of talking to Bilbo, like, they're both adults, and they're both and they're both assholes. If he showed up and he was just like, "Oh, look at this! Why, it's a little man. Have you cooked today, little man?" It would be crazy.
I'm just imagining now that Snow White cleans up all the dishes, and they're like, that's not how we do dishes. We throw them at each other and sing about how much Bilbo Baggins would hate it if he were here.
Yeah, I definitely think that, like, how Snow White treats the dwarves is really, really bad. But I do think that it doesn't help that the dwarves are also, like, of singular mind.
Yeah.
Right? These dwarves care about one thing, which is mining precious gems. And then when Snow White shows up, they care about two things. Right? Which is like, well, we got to keep this hot lady in our house.
Well, this was the big issue. It's like,
which is also mad college dude energy.
Yeah. But it is the big issue where it's like, I don't understand. I don't know these characters. I don't know Snow White. Snow White does not have an inner life as far as I'm aware. But the dwarves don't have an inner life either. Again, the closest one to having an inner life is Grumpy, who just, like, would like to sleep in his own bed tonight.
Yeah, that's, you know, it's good for them that this is like this is supposed to be like a long stay. You know, I realized at this moment that I don't think I've seen this movie because I kept expecting the ending to Sleeping Beauty happen.
Right.
And it's not what happens in this film.
You expect at some point for this movie to get a little bit cooler than it is.
Right. But I was like, how are they going to solve this problem? Are they going to make her like a bed or something? And
hey, what a normal solution. Hey, what a normal solution to that problem.
But the problem ends up solving itself, I guess.
All night partying, right? And then, when it's time to go to bed, then they realize they have not made plans for bed. Now, Andy, me and Jamie are planning a visit. Come out and see you next month.
Yeah.
I just assume we'll have a bedtime plan.
Oh, you know, like we don't have one yet, but I'm sure we'll come up with something before y'all get here. No, of course we have a fully furnished guest bedroom. Like, absolutely not. Crazy to invite someone over to stay.
But
like,
if somebody shows up at your house, like emergency situation, you don't have a guest bedroom, the first thing you think about is like, okay, who is sleeping where? Like, who's giving up their bed? Who's sleeping on a couch? Do we have extra blankets, sleeping bags, that kind of thing?
Right.
And they don't.
Gonna put some bedding on the floor.
And they don't, which is, again, because it's a goofy kids movie and you can show all the places they're sleeping instead of their beds. But I'm sitting here like, but these are grown-ass adults. They should know. This should be the plan. This is how you act when somebody comes to stay. Like, you make a plan on where they're gonna be. A lot of this is probably 30s stuff, you know, where
but
it's
they also don't. The next morning, they don't solve the problem because they're like, well, we're going to work.
Yeah.
And it's like, how the bed problem.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody was like, yeah, I guess this is what we'll do tonight as well. Even though also this is important, Snow White sleeps across like 3 of their beds. Now, if you put a couple mattresses on the floor, she could probably just do 2. Which means they're only down 2 beds. They just have to figure out sleeping arrangements for 2 people. But instead, they give her the whole bedroom, and they all sleep fucking in the sink or anywhere else.
This does feel like a 30s thing of like, well, we can't sleep in the same room as her, otherwise that's basically sex. You know, the walls of Jericho and all that.
So let's jump back to the Queen, because the Queen's been doing stuff this whole time.
Oh, man.
Sorry, one more thing. When she's sending them off, she gives them each a kiss, and they're all very into it, and I hate it.
Even Grumpy, like, polishes his little head before he goes out to be like, I don't even want a kiss from you. Blah.
Correct. Which is, again, what makes Grumpy the interesting dwarf.
Right.
Like, at least he's got something going on. At least he's, like, having another thought. So anyway, back at the castle, the Queen talks to her mirror and is like, hey, mirror, check out this cool box. Can you guess what's in it? And the mirror's like, that lady, that's a pig heart.
I am a magic mirror. You done got played.
Yeah. And she gets pissed, but, like, not that pissed. Again, I thought she was gonna kill the huntsman. She is, it feels like, just pissed that Snow White is still alive. She's not that pissed about having been tricked.
She's got a very one-track mind where and also the fact that she did get tricked, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think is really funny that like she is human, even though she has all of these like dark magics, the forbidden arts.
I honestly had the thought in this next scene of like, can she even change back? We never see her change back. And the transformation that she does specifically like turns her beauty to ugliness and looks so painful and horrible that I was sitting here like, there's like an ending of this movie where she realizes she'll never be beautiful again. Like that.
And then she goes, I mean, it's kind of good that they don't ever get there because like, it's not like she can, like, go mad from the revelation. She's already crazy.
She's pretty crazy. I have heard there's been a lot of hoodoo made about this transformation, specifically that the peddler looks vaguely Jewish, and therefore it feels kind of racist for her to only be doing all the really evil stuff after the transformation. But I think watching this movie, it feels like, now this is an extension of the same character. It's not like, this is now the horrible things can happen. She was horrible. She was already horrible. And I love how much fun she seems to have while she's in this form.
It's true. She seems to really like it. It seems almost freeing for her a little bit.
Yeah, she doesn't have to have that austerity.
Also, it is the same voice actor, right? It's not like they got a different voice actor. Yeah, Lucille Laverne. Shout out to Lucille Laverne. She goes crazy with it too when she becomes the peddler. Her laugh, her little cackle that she does, it's all so good. I mean, obviously, like, you know, if people find all of this like uncomfortable or like it's imagery that they just wouldn't want to associate with, I totally understand that. But I do think that like it, for me anyway, I don't think it crosses that. And I'm trying to say all this just to be like, you know, these are people's experiences, and obviously
right.
We're not trying to dismiss them, but I do think you're right in that doesn't really track for me.
Maybe it's just that I grew up on the Star Wars prequels and the Harry Potter movies. But right. This does not feel that bad.
But also, she's like, I don't know, man. Like, she tells a guy to cut her heart out and bring it to her. And then as, like, the peddler, she's like, I don't know, maybe I'll put her to sleep forever. Right? Yeah. It's a step down of evil, if anything.
It really seems like, although the plan, I love this plan, the plan is that she's going to give her the apple that puts her into the the sleeping death. Mm-hmm. And then the dwarves will bury her alive. And she does her cackle. She specifically added a witch cackle to the brew. I love that. Because she uses it all the time. She loves this cackle.
She loves this cackle. It's one of her... Did you see her bookshelf, by the way? I love her bookshelf. It's just like evil... It was like evil magic, evil potions, evil poisons.
Yeah.
everything an evil queen could ever want.
The thing that, and this is why I feel like the evil queen makes this movie, not only because her, like, performance is so good, but her, like, rooms suggest a deeper, more interesting world than the Snow White world that we see. It suggests that, yeah, there's somebody publishing the evil potions book. Like,
right. Well, also, like, she has this mirror, like, stowed away in this tower that's, like, right above the dungeon. Mm-hmm. And that dungeon is full of skeletons.
Yes!
So she's, like, murdering people.
Maybe that's why there's nobody in this movie, except for a single wandering prince.
I don't know. It's just, you're right. She's such an integral part to, like, the function of this film. And also, I think the most fleshed out character, she has a name.
Does she?
The evil queen, also known as the Wicked Queen, Evil Stepmother, the Queen, and Queen Grimhilda.
Oh, shit. I think the mirror might call her that, actually. Fascinating. So she does this cool potion shit. She makes the poisoned apple. She goes to the cottage. What I enjoy about the scene of her interacting with Snow White is that it's very clear that Snow White is not seeing what we're seeing. Even though she, quote, turned her beauty to ugliness, she just kind of looks like a little old woman, at least to Snow White. Like, I can tell that is an evil person, and the birds, they know it for sure.
Here's the thing, right? And Snow White is out here being like, I would not get tricked by a weird angel wizard like the Beast would, right? Because she sees this old woman and she's like, well, I'm not going to judge her just because she looks evil. Good for her.
Well, okay, the last thing that Dwarf said to her was, don't trust strangers. Because the evil queen is wily and has magic. Just don't talk to strangers. And then, I don't know if we mentioned this film takes place across like 2 days. So she goes to this cottage and immediately gets got. Like,
yeah. Listen, yes. But, like, what are you going to expect from her? Like, she's dumb. She's, like, really dumb.
Yeah.
So, the witch, she makes this poisoned apple. This scene is also really good. She has this evil crow.
Yes.
Who does nothing, and in fact seems to not be evil, other than just being an evil-looking crow.
Well, I mean, it does seem to be her personal, like, friend. Which seems a little bit evil. I love the bit where she's like, take a bite! And then the bird's like, wow!
Whoa, no, thank you. And then she's like, well, good, it's not for you. I was like, she's having fun with it. And I don't know how much this, like, matters to people. Mm-hmm. I think part of, what were the other examples you gave? It was Harry Potter and...
Star Wars prequels. Watto,
Star
specifically.
Wars, right. Watto, yeah. I think one of the things about, like, those characterizations, and the thing that I think really, like, makes them kind of gross is the fact that there's a lot of, like, emphasis put on their greed, right? Mm-hmm. And their miserliness and all of that stuff. And also, those characters aren't fun. They're, like, disgusting, right? You, as an audience, are supposed to see that character and be like, they're gross.
This guy sucks. Yeah.
But the evil witch is having such a good time, like, being an old lady, right? Being this, like, ugly little old woman. It just doesn't give me the same vibe. And also, again, she's not greedy. She's just vain. Yeah. Like, this is not, and all of those traits, I think, like, I don't know. It's just something about it. Like, I just don't think that I don't think we're really doing that here in terms of, like, the imagery that we're using and how we're using it. Mm-hmm. Like, there's been a lot of talk about, like, the dwarves and how the dwarves could be, like, an anti-Semitic thing. But again, they're not mining for greed. Again, they seem to just be doing it for the love of the game. They're not doing it to make money.
And it's hard. I mean, you could say, like, but they're still like my brain is also fried. If you're on a boardwalk and somebody does a picture of you, what do you call it? A caricature.
If you're a caricature.
That they're still like a caricature, but like
yeah.
they're not mean-spirited is the thing, in a way that like the goblins or Watto is. And I'm not saying that like completely forgives any caricaturization, but it does make it feel like less of a problem, capital P problem, and more like just like maybe you won't love this, you know?
If anything, it feels like I don't know, like to use a metaphor, it's more of a glancing blow, right? Like they are using images and caricaturisms that have been used to be anti-Semitic, but they're not using it in that mode. That's not to say that when these things are used in that anti-Semitic mode, that they're not anti-Semitic, but to say that like ultimately like they are not using this imagery in a racist way. Right. And we know that because they do that in this film, like you said, right? Oh
my God, yeah.
That and it's 1936, right? If they wanted to be anti-Semitic in 1936, they could have fucking done it. Like there's a scene in this movie where Snow White prays to our Christian God in this film. Oh my
God, I almost forgot that happened. Yes, it's like she's crying at the grave of Sonic. It was like so jarring to me that she is kneeling at this was also the moment where I felt it was actually most like a romance visual novel, because she prays for Grumpy to like her.
And he hears it, and he's like, nah, 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 nah.
Yeah, and I was like, this is like she's the protagonist in a romance game with 7 characters, and she got the secret 8th one. But the fact that she prays, it was just so, because it's not something that you see usually in any animated film, but it struck me as such a fucking DeviantArt moment of like,
right. So it's the next day. The evil queen is on her way. The dwarves have gone off to work. They've all gotten their kisses. Even pervy old Dopey got 2.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, like, you just kind of gotta, I feel like the act of describing it, like, well, she just gives her an apple and then Snow White bites it. But like, she's pushing the apple hard. My cultural understanding of this moment is, Snow White's so dumb. She just takes the apple and eats it.
But it's first she like offers the apple, and Snow White is not that into it. And then the birds attack her because these birds are like, that's the evil queen, we gotta get her. And Snow White like shoos off the birds. Now this does feel kind of dumb because like, come on, Snow White, why do you think those birds are attacking her? But she like shoos them off, and she takes them, and she's like, oh my old bones, and she like takes her inside and sits her down, and then fucking classic like enchantress move, she's like, oh, because you've helped me, take this wishing apple and make a wish and bite into it. And like Snow White's like, yeah, okay, and she makes a wish and bites into the apple, and graveyard dead. Straight up.
I genuinely, the shot of just her hand falling out from like off frame, haunting. Good cinematic, love that shit. That's fucking cinema.
It looked like they went to a morgue and watched a hand flop for half an hour so they could get it right. Just like, okay, flop the hand again.
Okay.
All right.
Now put an apple in it.
Put an apple in the hand.
Okay.
Like,
are you sure we can't just kill her?
It's like so good. It's like so upsetting. And the evil queen is standing there laughing, cackling, because she has this great cackle. Meanwhile, the animals went to get the dwarves, who don't live super close to the mine, which is a little weird because they clearly built the house.
Well, maybe they just didn't, they're big into separation of spaces, right? You don't want you're going to be miserable if you can see where you work from where you live.
Yeah. I can see that. They like having the walk. They like that why they can sing their song.
And it's part of the routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, they ride some deer back, and this was also a bit that took me out of it a little bit. They do not check on Snow White literally at all.
The witch is still there. They're fucking out for blood.
All of them immediately go after. One of them should have stopped to check on Snow White.
Should have been Grumpy, too.
If they wanted fucking character development, it would have been Grumpy, while everybody else is out bloodlusting.
We still get character development from Grumpy because he becomes the leader. He is like, we're gonna kill this old lady.
I feel like Doc is the leader in times of peace.
Oh, I see.
Okay, and Grumpy's like, nah, this is enough now.
I am the leader in times of war. A real Julius Caesar moment from him.
Yeah. Grumpy the dwarf is basically Julius Caesar.
And that makes Snow White Cleopatra?
It would make Snow White Cleopatra 1,000%.
Is that right? If anything, the most you could try them for is like maybe aggravated assault, maybe manslaughter.
This was an act of God. Andy, my memory of this film that I recall vividly from being a child is that they chase the evil queen and she's gonna get away and they drop a boulder on her and she screams and the boulder falls and she falls. That's not what happens.
No.
Also, I've so many times I've wanted this movie to just give me a bit more, but I need a bit more here. I want it to be clear that when she's transformed, the evil queen doesn't have magic. Because that's the only way that this scene works.
Well, I don't think she has magic.
It's fine if she doesn't have magic, but I also need that to be true. You know, like I need to know that against a bunch of guys with pickaxes, she does not have a lot of power. Because that's very clearly what's happening, but it feels a little weird with all of the buildup of this character.
Well, I mean, it seems to me like all of her evil magics and such are like contained to her little cauldron room, right?
But she has a book that just says magic spells, which is different from magic potions. From evil potions.
Doc, I don't know how magic works in this universe, but clearly she can't just whip it around. She's
Andy,
not out there like.
I also don't know how magic works in this universe. That's my complaint.
You just have to. Oh, okay. Is that you wanted more? You needed like a full.
I don't need like a full magic system. I need it to be clear that while the witch could probably kill the dwarves some magical way if she had enough time.
If she could turn back, but because she turned herself into this old lady, she has nothing.
Right, or something. Like I need to have a reason to know why the peddler is fucking terrified of these dwarves. Because I didn't think that the queen was. But they go running after her. A storm starts immediately. The most egregious storm in a movie I think I've ever seen.
It literally, as soon as, like, Snow White dies, it's raining.
And again, if it was clear this was magic, I might be okay with it. But, so she's running. I actually am mostly okay with it. It's a good scene in a film that does not have a lot of good scenes.
She, like, scrabbling up.
And she is, like, trapped on this cliff, and the dwarves are climbing after her, and she starts cackling, and she's gonna drop a whole-ass boulder on him, using a tree as leverage, and she's like, and then lightning strikes the tree, and the ground under her collapses, and also the boulder falls on her. This is the most dead Disney villain.
Like, no body, no crime. The first Disney death is a Disney falling death, whatever. The scream that comes out of her mouth, I was like, no, she's dead.
She's dead. There's also one other way we know she's dead that I don't think Disney has ever brought back, and we didn't mention. These vultures have been following her since they caught sight of her. And the implication is that they know she's gonna kill someone, but then when she dies, they fly down. And it's like, it's dead.
A beautiful transition. It transitions from them like soaring in a circle down to the Snow White and the dwarf standing vigil over her. And then this is the most we couldn't figure out how to end this movie thing that I think has ever happened in a movie.
I am 99% sure they ran out of money and or time. It cannot, this does not, there's no way.
This couldn't have been the plan.
This could not have been the plan. There's no way that when he was acting out this film, he went, ah, boom, then the vultures fly down, and then yada 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 yada, she gets kissed.
and then the movie ends. Hey, a bunch of bullshit, yeah.
Cause we just get these essentially title cards that are and then she was dead for a year-ish.
And the dwarves couldn't. She was just so beautiful. The dwarves couldn't even. So they basically entombed her in a glass coffin, like the body of Lenin.
Yeah,
and just kind of visit her all the time.
They know her for 2 days. And I guess she's also the princess, but whatever.
And she's also the only woman they've ever seen, dude. And also to them, she's not just a woman; she's a giant woman. So what can you do?
What can you do? So yeah, then the prince shows up, and instead of having any dialogue, he just is singing his dumbass song.
It's one song. It's the one song in this movie that I think is truly bad. If anyone should have been we need a narrator, it would have been at this, because this is a solid 8 sentences of text that is not read. It's just happening to you. And then one of the sentences is the prince heard about this and was that's her.
Even though he met her as a scullery maid, which is classic Cinderella, he shouldn't know who this is.
My man shows up and just kisses her.
Just kisses her. No conversation or anything. The dwarves aren't absolutely not.
I mean, maybe they just didn't expect it. I wouldn't have expected it.
Well, she doesn't have the glass coffin on. He doesn't lift the glass coffin off her. They took it off.
They took it off for him, I guess. No, they took it off to put flowers in her hand, I think.
So then, he kisses her, and she wakes up.
I love this. This is the most characterization she gets. She just wakes up like it's nothing.
She's she does a little stretch.
I half expected her to be oh, a full-grown man. Show me your hands.
Oh no, this is just how she treats humans. This is why the evil queen tried to kill her. She's just done with her bullshit.
Yeah, what we don't see the mirror being I'm going to be real with you. The one thing about her is she just treats everybody like they're a baby. But you're evil, so it kind of
evens out. If only there were a woman who were hot and normal. Unfortunately, we don't get that.
Oh man, my kingdom for a woman who's both hot and normal.
And the queen, she does every day, she's it's not your kingdom, it's my kingdom.
I killed a man and his wife to get this kingdom. Excuse you.
The wife first, obviously.
Obviously. Oh, maybe not. Who knows? We can be progressive about how we read these things.
I suppose. Yeah. Yeah, the evil queen seems like somebody who really appreciates a woman's beauty.
Fair enough. Asexual feminist icon, the evil queen. The representation we didn't know we needed.
So yeah, he just backs on her, and she just wakes up, and then in maybe the most egregious part that I cannot get over, she puts her on the horse and then starts picking up each of the dwarves so she can kiss them on the forehead. One time he picks up 3 at once.
Undignified behavior. Are you kidding me?
Miserable. Why would we do this?
And then they go to the kingdom of heaven, I assume.
So because yeah, there's a reading of this that Snow White just died, and this is
right. This is heaven.
This is heaven because why did they do this? Why did they have them walk off into apparently a celestial castle instead of the castle that we fucking know that she lives in. Like,
what now? A now leaderless kingdom.
it's like the end of Greece where they drive into the sky. It's just like so weird.
It's a baffling choice. It's again, this can't have been the original plan.
There's no way.
So what you think about the movie?
So like,
I kind of like it. I don't think it's like a kids movie.
well, but the thing is, when there's a lot of like talking down to the audience in this movie, which is specifically when Snow White talks down to the dwarves, and I just have to sit here and take it like this isn't a fucking weird way for humans to interact.
It doesn't help that her voice is again so like trill. It's a bit much.
The thing is that every scene with the evil queen, I fully loved. Like, no notes on any evil queen scene.
I mean, even her design, her character design is just so iconic.
Oh, so good. So there's like half of this movie that I like love, and half of this movie that I kind of hate, which I think evens out to like, yeah, it's a pretty okay movie, pretty good. Like,
yeah, I like it. I like it. I don't. It's definitely not. I don't think it could be my favorite Disney movie, but
I wish there were more story, I guess. Like, I would feel, if there were more plot to this movie, I would feel better about it. I'm not going to have that complaint about the remake for sure.
I think part of why I like this movie, fine. One, it's only like 80 minutes, right? Not including credits, and not including like the fake ass book and shit. Like, it's a pretty short movie. It doesn't. There are a lot of things that they could have taken out. There are a lot of things they could have added in, like to make it more fleshed out. But like, I cannot imagine this story, this fairy tale, right, being longer than 90 minutes. Now, I am about to check how long this next movie we're about to watch is, because I have a suspicion that it's probably not.
It's gonna be like 2.5 hours, my man. Like, there's no way.
Okay, it's 109 minutes. Wow, they kept it short.
That's nice.
That's what. Yeah, that's barely. It's only 20 minutes longer. Maybe they just added in a scene where the dwarves make her a bed.
So this is the other thing about this movie. If the movie was allowed to breathe and like took place over the course of a week, we could see the dwarves like putting in a guest house or something, and we could be like, okay, this is a world that makes sense.
I think a bit to speak a little bit from like a bit of a more like material position in terms of like the production of this film. I really do think it shows that Walt Disney hadn't directed a movie before. Like, we don't get all of the movie's very like literal, right? Scene to scene, but there's no like montage really. There's no like cutting to like cutting across time and space. Everything is kind of just happening like a stage play, like as it happens,
one after the other.
I think but I'm curious because like the next movie that he does after this is Pinocchio, right?
Is it really? Okay.
And that's like a pretty big step in terms of like writing and dialogue and story. I do think there are a lot of parts of this movie that do feel to me like Walt hadn't done a movie before. So, and I'm curious, like, does this problem ever get solved, or does Walt die and someone else is like,
it's time for somebody who knows how to make a movie to do this?
That doesn't seem true to me. We've seen a lot of those movies, and a lot of them are kind of like, they feel lost, as lost as this movie feels at times. Do you want to know something crazy? I got two things for you before we wrap up, I think.
Okay.
One, apparently, the actress, Adriana, what was her name again? Adriana Caselotti.
Yeah.
Was supposed to do a radio show for RKO Pictures as like part of the deal, I think, for hiring her on, was that RKO would get to use her for a radio show. And like a week into production, Walt Disney was like, you can't use her. I don't want anyone I don't want to spoil anybody on her voice and what she sounds like, which tells me no one else in the history of the planet has ever sounded like this. That Walt Disney was like, she is a precious commodity.
if I heard her on the radio, I would assume there was something wrong with my radio. Like, genuinely, like...
Could you imagine meeting her in real life and she sounded like this?
No.
I don't know what I'd do.
I
yeah,
can't.
right?
Like, I can't imagine meeting a person who sounds like that and being able to be like, I'm gonna have a normal conversation with you, fellow human.
And the second thing is there's this photo on Wikipedia of the Queen in Snow White, and I love this photo. Now, I thought at first that this child was crying, but if you zoom in,
she's just giving like crying. Side eye.
She's like, "Why am I taking a photo with the evil queen?" Iconic. I don't think any evil queen or stepmother ever. Until Maleficent hits that high, right?
I was going to say closest is Maleficent. Closest is definitely Maleficent, which is the movie that I feel like that is closest to Snow White in, like, vibe, but they're trying something new with it, is Sleeping Beauty. Which I feel like there are a lot of the same complaints about it, which is like, this feels a lot less like a story than other movies.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think that one does it better, if only because there are, like, fight scenes. Like...
Right. There's a dragon in that movie.
And there's like a reason for the joke characters to be joke characters. They're literally like weird fairies. At least I know about the magic of this world.
Yeah, we do get a lot of hay about the good fairies and the evil fairy.
Yeah.
So that's something.
Thank you for listening to Direct to Video VHS. I've been your host, Tony Robusto.
I've been your host, Andy Reyes.
I feel like we fully stopped saying our names at the top. It's weird, but I'm not gonna fix it.
Here's the thing is what are they gonna get from knowing our names at the beginning? We're two guys talking about movies. That's all they need to know. We just hit them with that.
You can find me at inspiredbytrueevents.org, and you can find the podcast at direct2.video.
You can find me on Blue Sky at royalty_valens, my Blue Sky. I have been officially allowed to be on Blue Sky again.
Amazing.
Which is not good for not good, but not great, not bad either. And yeah, you can find me on here at direct2.video. You can find me on YouTube at Ethical Games Journalism. When I have energy, which I haven't had for the past 3 months because work has been insane.
Speaking of which, we also put the podcast out on YouTube, which is a good place to like interact a little bit. If you want to just give your opinions, that's fine. We also have an email address, but people don't use it. So
yeah, so just comment on YouTube.
It's easier to comment on YouTube. Thank you to Scott Buckley for Homeward, which we use as our intro and outro. And next time, we're gonna watch Snow White.
Just Snow White.
Just Snow White. That's the name because of a weird pushback about the idea of using the word dwarves, I think. By the by, sorry, hate to stop the conversation. Do they call them dwarves in this movie? They call them little men a lot.
I don't know.
I also don't know, and I did not go to the trouble of finding out. It's just something I kind of noticed. But whatever, we'll leave that for history to decide. I am the ghost of John Smith.
And hold on. All right. I've been practicing this for days now. Out here in the forest, we have our own fairy tales.
Oh.
Let's see. I'm practicing, but now I'm getting a bit of stage fright. So let's see if I can do this. Snow White and the 7 dwarves running through the forest, laughing back and forth at what the other has to say, reminiscing this and that and having such a good time. Oodalali, golly, what a day. Do you think I could do that for every movie?
I would love it if you did. How the fuck is somebody also doing yard work today at an entirely different time than last time?
They need to get this guy on a schedule.
Seriously, what the fuck? It's so loud. It actually edited out real well last time, so I'm not that worried about it. I'm just a little annoyed. The hell was I talking about? The book.